Hey, what's up guys? It's Cosmic Jack, and today I'm going to be showing you my Cypher Icebox setups. A lot of people like to pick Killjoy on this map because they claim that she's better, but Cypher actually has some pretty great setups, especially near mid by tube and on B site. If you like what you see, be sure to subscribe because I've got a lot more Cypher content. I'm going to do some Cypher gameplay videos, some do's and don'ts of Cypher, and then I'm going to launch a Killjoy Setup Series as well. Alright, let's jump into it. Alright, let's start off with A site. Now, usually I start off with my cams, but I'm actually going to go in a different order for this side, and you'll see, I'll explain why. It's because the buy barrier actually starts right here. I have it turned off for this video. But the buy barrier starts right here, so a lot of times my cams are usually up here or up here, as I'll show you in a little bit. But since the cams can't be accessed till after the round starts, we're going to start with tripwires. So the first tripwire I like to place is actually right here. Again, you have to place this after the buy barrier, but it's still a pretty good trip. And if you look on my right, you want to get it as far on the edge of the box as possible. That way, if they jump up here, it's still going to hit their feet. So I like to do right about here. But you got to make sure it's low enough so they can't just crouch underneath it. I'll go right there. And another one I like to do, very similar, is actually right here, as close to the edge as you can get it. I actually like to go right in the middle, just like that. I like to use these trips because oftentimes I'll play in CT or I'll play rafters, and if I hear them hit that trip, even if it's smoked, I can swing and get a kill. And again, if I'm playing rafters or if I'm playing backside, they start to push up, they get caught here or they get caught here. It's a swing and a kill while I'm still safe from nest. If you're really getting rolled or if they're destroying the trips really easily with Raze utility or Sova utility, what I like to do is put chips further backside as on the other map. So I'll just put one right here. And if you really need to, you can even put one as far back as like right here. You can partner those with cages and you can play CT, play retake, and then that's a kill right here if they really try to swing and get aggressive with you. All right, let's move on to cages for a site. The first one I like to use, you come up here in a nest like this. And what you want to do is land it right about here. So I like to aim my crosshair like right above this line right here, just like that. And I'll throw my cage. Now, the way to play this is actually to play in this corner right here. You trigger it when you know they're coming. You can crouch and you can get some kills when they're running through here. If you want to move this tripwire back, you can. The only issue with playing here is that it doesn't cover all of nest. So if you're playing like this and they can headshot you from up here, even if you try to get that free kill right here. It's a dangerous trip, but if you know they're not playing nest or your teammate smokes up here, it's a pretty good trip to use and a good one way. And then it's pretty safe to fall back from there. Another one-way cage that you can do from up here, it actually stops enemies from coming through mid. You want to get up on here, you can either directly crouch jump or I like to rope jump. It's a little bit easier. And you want to line your crosshair up with this little divot right here, just about that far up. It doesn't have to be that high. And throw your cage. And this one's great because if you're playing up, you can't play down here. You have to play up here. They're coming through mid. They're pushing. You do this. You can back up like this. You can get them as far back as here. And if they're stuck in there, they can't see you at all. You get some free kills. You can pair it with a tripwire if you really need to, but I'd use those on site because typically they don't 5 push through mid. Some other more straightforward cages are ones that are like here. Again, you can play off your trip by putting this here. Or you can put one back here. Again, same thing. You can play off the trip with that. You can put one right about here. You want to line it up pretty close to this thing, this little line right here. I usually put a little bit to the left, just like that. This one's great because when you trigger it, it actually covers the whole doorway. You can swing as far as here and they can't see you. Or if they're really pushing you on site, you can put one here as well. Again, I like to use this one way once or twice up here, and if they're really pushing through mid, I'll save one for here, and the other one I'll save for site when I'm playing off my tripwires. Alright, let's finally go over some cameras for a site. Now, the first two I like to put down actually require you to get up on here, which again, you can only do after the buy barrier goes down, so we'll go out there just for show and tell purposes. I like to put one up here, like that. This lets you see the push, and they can't really shoot it unless they go all the way out here and turn all the way around. They can't really see it from over here because of this sloped wall. It lets you see this side. It lets you see a little bit in here. It doesn't let you see the default plant. This one's really good for early round information, similar to like the B long on bind camera. So if you don't want to use that one, a very similar one you can do from here. You can actually jump all the way up to here. Is right here. Jump for some extra height like that. This one's a lot better because it lets you see default plant. It lets you clear this corner right here. It lets you clear that corner. It lets you clear pipes. And it lets you clear backside like that. Now, if that last camera is getting shot a lot, which it does, what I like to do is come over here and put a cam right on the corner of this pillar right here, like that. This is great because it lets you see nest really deep into A main, close pipes, this corner right here, default plant, and this corner. Now, this camera is actually on the corner of this pillar, so it can get shot from the other side pretty easy. So if it is getting shot, you can just take it down and you can put it right here instead. Again, you lose a little bit of that A main visibility, but you still see pipes, you still see this corner, you still see default plant, and you can still clear this corner. Another great early round recon cam is actually this one right here. You just come up in the nest, and then you line it up with the corner of this pipe right here, get it facing that way. And this actually lets you see really deep into A main. You can't see nest at all, but you can also see default plant if it isn't shot by then. This is a great cam for information because you can check really quick and then rotate with your team if you don't see anybody. Now, if for some reason you're running a team without a Sage, which I really don't recommend on Icebox, you can actually watch Tube pretty easily by yourself. This is a pretty weird setup because I don't like to waste all my resources on a place like mid. I like to be on a site with Cypher, but if you really need to watch it, what you can do is walk into this corner, aim your crosshair right between these two window panes, right above the camera, like that, and your cage will land up there. And what you can do is actually put a tripwire on the inside of this thing right here at foot level, or if they have a Yoru raised boom bot they're coming in with, you can move it up. But I like to put it at foot level. And then another tripwire I'll do is right here, like that. And then I'll just put a cage right here. And if you really need to, if they're really struggling, what you can do is put a cam right here. And I'll just play right here. I'll crouch. I'll go into my cam. What this allows you to do is actually check if the enemies are coming. They'll hit that first tripwire. You can swing and get a kill. Or you can hit the one way like this. You can crouch from back here. You can see them. You can see their feet. And then if they really start to push, you can hit this one, tag one with your cam, head them hit the tripwire, and spray through the cage like that. Again, I wouldn't recommend this setup because it requires you to put all of your utility on mid, and if they know you're doing that, they're just going to start pushing a site and taking it for free, especially if you're doing it because you don't have another sentinel. Now let's talk about B site. The first two cams I use are very similar, and they're pretty easy to set up, but they do get shot pretty quickly, so use these with caution. The first one I like to do is right here. You got to jump to set it up. This one's great because you can see the B main push, you can see them sitting here, you can see them sitting yellow, and you can see the default plant. The other one that I like to use, it's very similar. You come over here, it's going to be right up here. Jump on this box. You can line it right up on the edge like that, so it's a little bit outside the map. This one's great, again, lets you see B main. You can't see default plant, but you can clear all of back yellow. You can clear this corner. Again, if they see it early, they'll shoot it. So what you have to do is wait until the plant goes down for this. So I'll usually play here, and I'll show you cages and trips in a minute. But I'll trust that my teammates are coming and we're going to take a retake. So what I'll do is I'll wait, they'll put the plant down, then I'll clear this and call out information. Another cam I like to use that has some good height and lets you see a lot is actually right here. Come to the edge of this box, just don't fall off, and then put it up as far as it'll go up here. You can't jump to get extra height, it won't let you, so you can just put it right there and it'll warp up a little bit. This one's great because you can see default plant, you can clear deep back yellow, and you can clear this corner as well as the cross right here. The only thing this camera lacks is the top of the box right there a lot of people like to sit on, but it's still a pretty great cam because they have to look up and to the right to shoot it, and if they're hit by a trip or if they're looking up and there's no smoke, you can get a free kill. The other cam I like to use, it doesn't get shot right away, is actually pretty simple. It's just right here, or you can move it up to here if you want, but I like to put it right on this corner right here, like that. Again, this one's great because when they're planting, you see default plant, you can clear back yellow. You can't clear this little blind spot right here, but you can clear on top of this box, which is great. Again, don't hit this until they've already planted and they're falling back. Then you can hit it, tag someone, call out locations, and start the retake. The last cam setup, and the one that's my favorite, is actually through up here. What you want to do is line yourself up with the edge right here, like that. And then you want to get your cam right on the edge of that ice right there. Make sure it's facing out and it's not hanging out around the corner. You put that down, and this cam is great because you can see deep B main, you can see on top of the boxes, you can clear most of back yellow, you can clear this cubby, and you can very easily see the default plant. And again, this one's great because they have to look really far away from you if you're playing here or if you're playing here to shoot the cam, and in that free time you can swing and get a kill. Alright, let's go over some tripwires for B site now. The first one I like to use is pretty basic. It's right here. Again, put it at foot level so they have to look down to shoot it, but if they have a raised boombot, your footsteps, or Sova darts destroying it, you can just move it up like this. Another one I like to do, same thing. You can actually put it right here. I like this one, but I actually like one that's right here better, and I'll show you why. So we'll put this one here, say. You have an enemy swinging around the corner, and they go like this. Before they've even peeked you, they now hear this tripwire, so they can shoot it and then swing. But with this one, they swing around usually pretty wide like this, then they're looking here, and then they see the tripwire. So they have to go like this, or like this, and even if it doesn't hit them, you know that they're here looking away, and if you're playing back here or in here, you can swing and get a kill even if it's smoked. Now, a cheeky tripwire I like to use that usually gets 1 kill a game before they start shooting it is one that's right here. You can put it right on the inside of this orange box like this, and I'll put it down right here. And if I'm using this, I'm playing mid, so what's going to happen is they're going to come up to do the default plant, they're going to go like this, and they're going to have to stick the plant while they're lit up, and you can wallbang them through here, or they stop planting, they turn, and then it's time for your teammates to swing out through here, or for you to keep spraying and to deny the plant. Now, if the other team is playing aggressively through mid as well as B, what I like to do is just trip off the B cross right here, just like that, and you can pair that with the cage too. You don't have to. Just make sure you're not standing in here, because again, they can stand here, get some kills here or here before even hitting this trip, or even here. But once they cross here, if you're sitting here, you can swing that. Let's talk about cages now for B site. This is where you can really get tricky with the enemy. What you can do is come up here, run into this corner. You want to set up 2 one-ways. So the first one I like to do is on this corner. So you want to aim right where the sun line is, right at the bottom of it, lined up with this back corner here, like so, and throw your cage. And the other one I like to do, again, in this corner, you see this bar right here. You want to go a little bit to the left, line it up with this corner, and a little bit below this right here. So probably right about there, just like that. So the way to play these one-ways is actually by playing Deep Snowman on spawn side. So what you're going to want to do is when you know they've crossed back yellow, you trigger the first one like this. You can swing, you can wait for your tripwire, or you can just swing and crouch, and you can see some enemies pretty far back, aim at head level, get some kills. And while that one's still up, what you can do is hit that one, and then you can hit this one as well, and go right about to here so they can't wallbang you through here. You go like this, again, it hits the trip, you get some kills through here while they're crossing or while they're pushing. And these are great one-ways. Again, you can use them a lot because enemies, it's really tough to play off of these ones. Now, if you're starting to figure out the one-ways and you're not really getting much success out of them, you can just do pretty standard cages like this and like this. Again, these are great, you know they're coming, you hit them, you wait for them to step through them like that, hit the trips, and then you get some free kills. Again, if you want to play on B site and the enemy's pushing through mid really hard, what you can do is do this tripwire right here like this. Again, as we showed before. Then you can put a cage here, or if they're really pushing hard and you want to hold B site and you know all 5 will be mid, you do one here, one here. You can wall bang this right here if they go to it. You're playing on B site, you do this, and then they have to wait and your teammates can rotate through their spawn or through yours. Now let's talk about offensive tripwires for anti-flank for Cypher. This is where Cypher really struggles on this map, and a lot of people like to choose Killjoy because you can set the turret up here or here and it covers flank pretty well. But there's still some decent Cypher traps you can use. So the first one I like to do is right on the corner of this box right here. This works if you're playing default or if you're pushing B because they have to swing like this and they can't really see you if you're playing far back when on post plant on B. One drawback to this trip though is that if they flank from B and you're playing default in your spawn, they can sit right here and wait for you and they can get some free kills and it won't really tell you all that much unless they're really hard pushing you. If you know for a fact you're going to push A site or B site, what I like to do is put a tripwire right through mid like this. Only certain characters can get up here, like Raze or Jet. And again, you'd hear that from here if you're on a site waiting. You'll hear the ability to get up here, and then you'll know that they're coming. And again, if you know for sure you're going to push a site, you have to use both your trips for flank. And I'll do one here and one here. This prevents them from being able to get up in the nest. If you see this one and you don't put one here, they can just run up in the nest and sit up here for your flank. But if you put both, they're usually pretty deterred and they'll run back or they'll destroy it. You know they're there. All right, guys, that's been my Cypher Icebox setups. Thank you guys so much for all the support on this series. I got a lot of positive comments telling me to do different maps and they really liked the content. So if you like the content, be sure to stick around because I've got Killjoy content as well as a lot more Cypher content coming up. Thanks, everyone.